Right, and do you smell that? It's the foul stench of wet internet beef. Well, actually, no, to be fair, the overpowering stench is actually probably the moldy scarf. At this stage, it just smells like the rear end of a cow. But don't worry, lads, the Prem Ketchup returns tomorrow. And yes, I will absolutely grill Graham Potter like a steak sandwich at a vegan barbecue. Yeah, because all of you love Potter! To the point where you probably got tattoos of Draco Malfoy on your thigh. But I'm sorry, I know that Ben Foster is everyone's smiley internet friend. I realize the man is so damn likable, even grandmothers on the street probably want to pinch his cheeks and kiss him on the eyebrows. And I don't have internet beef with any... Well, almost anybody. I mean, come on! Why? What did I say? Honestly, that man must have skin thinner than a bumblebee. But to me, this weekend has just exposed Foster. Okay, don't worry, it's not that bad. No, he hasn't been caught Googling photos of Britney Spears as a child. No, I haven't seen him eating dog stick off the floor. No, nothing like that, okay? It's just... I'm sorry, Ben. Here I am speaking directly to you. About 500,000 people watch James Alcott ask you some scary questions, but I have a scary question for you, Ben. Why aren't you about to become a Newcastle United club legend? Do you see what happened at the weekend? Do you now feel like wiping buttered toast in your eye to distract you from the fact that you made the biggest mistake of your career? Last summer, Foster turned down the chance to become Newcastle United goalkeeper. And I'm sorry, but I don't understand. This guy has chosen to just retire, ending what was a brilliant 20-year career on a painful relegation with Watford. But I mean, why? I mean, like if Khabib Nurmagomedov had retired if he was beaten up by Conor McGregor. No! You don't retire on a loss. I mean, is eating cookies on the couch with Mark Goldbridge really that more enticing? I mean, really? Would you rather be spending this month, I don't know, sharing a pie on camera with Chunks? Or teaching Chris M.D. how to cook? Would you not rather prefer helping Newcastle win the Carabao Cup? Or League Cup? I don't know. This trophy changes its name more often than Cheryl Cole. Lads, not only would Foster have been around the most buzzing dressing room in the country, but I mean, this man would be employed by a club who actively have Amazon cameras in the dressing room. I mean, why did Watford? I think with the hierarchy there, I think his vlogs went down about as well as, I don't know, if I sat on a park bench filming busy playgrounds with my phone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have creeped out mums phoning the police. But at St. James's Park, this club has made Alan Pearson a king, and he's just an enthusiastic child. It looks a bit like he failed an audition for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Newcastle embrace the media side of things. But listen, forget about YouTube. Now I just sound like my mum in 2017. Honestly, when I told her that I didn't have the brains to be a doctor or even to work down a petrol station, I thought she was gonna spike my tea with cyanide. But yeah, okay, forget about the YouTube things. Foster will be playing in goal for Newcastle United in their first cup final in over 20 years. Ben, you've literally won this competition 3 times before in the past. 2 for Manchester United and 1 for Birmingham. You know what this means. Even now, when someone mentions that Arsenal-Birmingham game to you in 2011, it's probably the same as waving a cake underneath Jonah Hill's nose. It would make you feel very excited. This is a man who Newcastle fans would feel comfortable between the posts. He's like a sensible adult babysitter with brilliant references. But Karius, Loris Karius, by contrast, he's like that babysitter who recently got out of prison after doing 12 years for strangling a priest with his tie. I mean, is it too late? Can Newcastle still register Foster now? Can they just pull some strings? Ben, I don't care if you spent the last 6 months stuffing your face with burnt meatloaf or brushing your teeth with Pepsi. He would still be a huge upgrade on the alternative. I'm sorry, but this is Newcastle's cup final. Their huge monster moment. I mean, they've been waiting decades for next Sunday afternoon. And now, at the last minute, they are being told they have to use the 3rd choice goalkeeper or 4th choice goalkeeper? I'm sorry, but no. It'd be like, I don't know, my sister's wedding day. Oh, she's been dreaming of this magical moment ever since she was a little girl. And yet at the last minute, oh, she's been told that, no, your dad won't be walking you down the aisle. Instead, it'll be that creepy uncle who 5 years ago was arrested for making love to sheep. Loris Karius being the man to represent Newcastle United in goal for a genuine cup final. But the very thought of that alone just... No, the man is dangerously underqualified. It's like asking some fat bloke off Hollyoaks to be the next James Bond. I realise that Karius was once a promising goalie at Liverpool, yes, but I'm sorry, the man's career ended on that Champions League final pitch in 2018. Lads, it's been so long since the match, so long ago, that Gareth Bale, the literal man of the match, the chief tormentor, is now retired. tired and probably just eating baked beans in his mansion whilst watching clips of Tiger Woods with his hands stuffed down his pants. I realise that Karius is a guy who actually spent 2 years in the Manchester City Academy. There is talent in there, sure, but I reckon because of that hideous moment where he overnight became a worldwide joke, I actually think that every time the man has been forced to set foot back on a football pitch, it's probably like asking the characters of Lost to get back inside a plane. This is a man who hasn't played a competitive game of football since the 28th of February 2021. A 1-1 draw with Hoffenheim for Union Berlin. That was so long ago. It was the same week Tom and Jerry was in the cinema. Newcastle have completely messed this up. I'm sorry, but right now, Martin Dubravka must feel angrier than Chris Brown on a Tinder date. Honestly, his move to Manchester United on loan was supposed to be a dream move, but it's actually destroyed his Newcastle legacy. He's the man who could have been starting in net at Wembley next week. But whose idea was it to get rid of him? There was always a possibility that Pope would miss the cup final through injury or suspension. Who knows? The guy could have had food poisoning on the morning of the game. I mean, what if he had just eaten a dodgy pie on the bus? If there is a chance that your number 2 won't play in the final if there's an emergency, then get another one in January. There is absolutely no reason why Keylor Navas should not be playing for Newcastle next week. Sure, you would think the man has a colossal ego as a worldwide superstar, but he's just emergency cover for Nottingham Forest. Within a month, when Dean Henderson is back, this fella will just be back eating stale yogurts on the bench. Oh, Karius is stepping in for... Never mind Nick Pope. I would prefer the actual Pope in nets if I was a Newcastle fan. Why am I waking your children on the internet? But lads, Karius is a football vampire. I swear this man only comes out at night. I live in Newcastle. This week, I saw Alexander Isak walking his dog. On Saturday, I saw Sean Longstaff buying a dairy milk. I even bumped into Jacob Murphy once and asked him if he was Josh. Yeah, he didn't laugh. But I never see Karius. Probably because he's now got the self-confidence of a pony with Tourette's. And this is the man to keep goal for Newcastle in an actual cup final? Lad, don't get me wrong, there are some pretty horrific goalkeepers who have stood in net during a League Cup final. The likes of Gerard Tremmel for Swansea. Someone about as intimidating as an Ollie Mercy D. The likes of Fraser Forster, Orja Nyland, Matt Duke, Simon Mignolet, Vito Manone, Kostel Pantilimon, and Mike Pollitt. Yeah, that's essentially the goalkeeping version of the undated Bulls. They've all played in League Cup finals, so I mean this occasion is usually muddied with wet weasel goalies, yes. So honestly, it would make the Super Bowl a lot less prestigious if their previous halftime shows featured, I don't know, performances from Jedward, Boyzone, and Kylie Minogue playing the banjo. So I'm not saying that Karius' presence in the cup final is a complete disgrace, because there have been worse goalies on that Wembley pitch. But I'm sorry, Newcastle have still messed this up. Carl Darlow might look like a 17-year-old boy who's applying to be the next series of Love Island, but no, this babyface is actually a 32-year-old man. He joined Aston Villa in 1998. This man has experience. He's got 100 games for Newcastle under his belt. Karius has 0. This is a man who, ever since making his Newcastle debut in 2015, has never been let out on loan since. Up until 2 weeks ago. And now, instead of being available for the club's biggest game, he's out on loan at Hull. I mean, he played against Freddie Woodman in the Championship yesterday. They both kept clean sheets. Woodman was on the books of Newcastle for 9 years. And yet he's now picking up a 13th clean sheet of the season for Preston North End. Why did you give away them both? Both of them? This is a mess. A complete and utter mess. Ben, do you not regret this? Why? Why are you not playing for Newcastle United at Wembley? Would this not be the perfect way to end your career? It's mad. Karius is the literal Champions League finalist. And yet the Geordies would genuinely feel safer and more secure with a 39-year-old YouTuber between the sticks. Honestly, Karius versus Foster. It's a bit like Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. Honestly, Foster is a top goalkeeper still. Last season, even with creaky knees, he was keeping Austria's #1 goalkeeper. A guy in his 20s, let's not forget, rooted to the bench. Foster, you could be coming up one-on-one with Marcus Rashford, the most informed forward in Europe, but instead, no, you're trying not to get lobbed by Mini Minter. It should be Foster keeping goal for Newcastle. How could you turn this down? If you were told as a little boy, when you were dreaming of becoming a professional goalkeeper, if someone had said that you could be playing in a cup final 2 months before you turned 40, he would have probably sooner ripped off his ears and fed them to the cat than ever dream of saying no to that. Just imagine, Ben, imagine getting your hands on a 4th League Cup medal and against your former club. Think of the vlogs. Think of the views! Think of your absolute cemented legend status at Newcastle. I'm sorry, but if Newcastle win a cup with Foster in the net, forget the 500 plus games you played. Forget the 11 clubs you played for. You wouldn't be as highly thought of anywhere else. Not even Birmingham fans would like you as much as the Newcastle ones. And honestly, if you want a set of supporters to like you, it is Newcastle fans. Birmingham Watford and West Brom. It's not really exciting, that. Honestly, it's been like going on a date with someone who's got the personality of a bowl of Weetabix. I'm sorry, but if Newcastle won a cup with Foster in the net, Martin Dubravka had a great debut against Man United in the Premier League, and he lived off that for years. But to beat Manchester United at Wembley, I'm sorry, Ben, but please explain to me, why have you not done this? Instead, the Geordies are just gonna have to cross their fingers and hope and pray that some German model doesn't have the reflexes of chocolate milk. Honestly, Ben, why? Anyway, let me know what do you think, alright? Let me know. Please, Ben, let me know if I'm talking absolute cow brecker. Let me know in the comments, alright? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.